A somber goodbye for Pope Francis as he was laid to rest earlier this morning. More than 250,000 people, including dignitaries from all over the world, gathered to attend the pontiff's funeral mass at St. Peter's Square. President Trump and former President Biden were also in attendance. The mass was then followed by a procession on the popemobile, where people from all over Rome were able to get a final glimpse of Pope Francis. He was then laid to rest at St. Mary Major Basilica, which is located a few miles from the Vatican.
And our David Ono has been in Rome all week covering the latest on the passing of Pope Francis. He was on the procession route by the Colosseum as the Holy Father's coffin rode by, and he joins us live this morning. Good morning, David.
Good morning, John and Rachel, and we are thrilled to be able to be in this location right in front of the historic and iconic Roman Colosseum, and the Pope went right by us. Of course, as you mentioned, he did the funeral at St. Peter's Basilica. He wanted to be buried at St. Mary Major, and it's a 4-mile trek from the Basilica to St. Mary, and he went just feet by us. In fact, let's show you the video as the Pope's motorcade went right on by his casket just about 5 feet from us. And the crowd, it was really interesting because we were trying to gauge and wondering how they would respond to it. Many people, obviously, with their phones out, taking video, taking pictures. Many were applauding, as you could hear on the video, but some were actually crying. It was an emotional moment for them, and it's one of those things you can't totally gauge. And I'll tell you, look at the second video. The crowd, somewhere around 100,000 people were here at the Colosseum alone. Tremendous crowds, and police did a really good job of opening up a lane so the Pope could come on through. And in that crowd, I met a couple from Boston, and they were waiting to see the Pope. This was just before the Pope passed by. Here's what they said.
Well, it is a historical moment, of course, and he was obviously a beautiful person, regardless of what religion you believe. So we just want to be able to be part of it. It's an opportunity.
He's a great human being. I think that he, from my understanding of many popes, he's one of the first popes to really focus on human way of thinking and the way of giving great ways of going forward in life and bringing together humanity. So I think that's a beautiful thing.
His message, it's not what he preaches, it's what he does.
Correct.
So I think he touches everyone out there.
What a great message from them. And by the way, they watched the Pope go by from the 5th story of a restaurant. They just happened to have reservations there when it was announced that the motorcade would go on by. So they sent us their photos, and look how beautiful these photos are. A great shot. In this shot, you could see the Pope's motorcade. You could also see how huge the crowd was. As I mentioned, about 100,000 people were here. We're getting word from the Vatican about 250,000 people were in the lines. Another 250,000 people were at the funeral, and a total of about 150,000 people were along the procession route. So tremendous amount of people showing their respect for Pope Francis here in Rome. And now this part of the chapter is closed, and now we wait for word on when the conclave will begin. John, Rachel, I'll throw it back to you.
Powerful images. And David, you've been there covering this for almost a week now, this historic event. What are the moments that stood out to you?
Well, one of the moments is that long line, and I was curious to see if that line would ever reach what it was when Pope John Paul died in 2005. It didn't get to that extent, but that final day was really similar. You saw the masses come out and hope to get in front of the Pope. Not all of them did, but that was impressive. But also, I think iconically, this procession is really what's going to go down in history. The Pope going down the Colosseum, he wanted to be connected with the people, and he felt going through the most historic parts of Rome accomplished that, allowing everybody to come out and take part. And his legacy is important because you want that to live on beyond his papacy, but into the next. And I think certainly that resonates with the people that were here. And again, history that we saw in the most iconic place. Back to you.
Yeah, and David, the procession, a wonderful way to reach out to the people, but I'm just curious, was security ever a concern, and did you see a big security presence?
Security was actually pretty light on the parade route. There were police here. They blocked things off lightly. It wasn't real militant like you might think. What was interesting is the folks in government here in Rome asked their citizens to behave themselves, and they certainly did. We heard of no problems whatsoever. It was nothing but respect as the Pope's coffin went by. I will say this, though. There is a tremendous difference between now and what it was 20 years ago when John Paul passed away, and there was that giant line. Back then it was very organic. You could just walk into the square and see the sights and sounds. This time, there were metal detectors, there were enormous police presence, there was military presence, so things have certainly wrapped up. It's a very different environment now than it was 20 years ago. Back to you.